So I wanted to start off just talking about exactly what you started talking about, the tour. So you guys are heading back out. You had a chance to do some shows last year, but this is more like a formal tour for you guys here in the US. So what are you most excited about, I guess?
Well, generally, we're excited about going back to stages, live performances with audience, with audiences. And yes, we started a few months ago, going at it again, and it seems like people were as excited as we were, because the few venues that we've done here so far, they've been mostly sold out. Not all of them, but most of them. So for us, that's a clear sign that people also, were expecting to go back to live performance, the live experience, live music. So we're very excited, and now we're gonna do our formal tour in the US. We're doing I think 17 cities throughout the US. So it's very exciting for us. Just after like a year and a half of not being able to do this, to be able to do it again is just we feel privileged and yeah, very excited, very excited.
Yeah, and in that time, I think you're a little in there. In that time, you had Próximos Próximos come out, and you didn't really get a chance to kind of tour with that. And now we have another work that you guys are going to be showing off that you already started sort of doing that too. So tell us a little bit about, I guess, most recent EP, Ambrosia.
Well, yes, we released a full album at the beginning of last year, called Próximos Próximos, and as we would normally do, we'd go out on tour and promote it, but we couldn't because of the pandemic restrictions. So after we finished the album, we released it, and okay, so what do we do now? We can't play, we can't go out. So we felt we were kind of like on a roll, creativity-wise. So we thought, let's just keep on going, and we always wanted to do a little something in English, like whether it's a full album or an EP. So we thought, this is our chance. We have the time now that we normally don't have. So now that we're restrained to our studio, let's just keep creating, and let's do this English EP that we've always wanted to do, but we didn't have time to do it. So hence the 4-song EP titled Ambrosia. We released it I think that was the last quarter of last year, so it's pretty fresh. So now that we're back on stage, we have a whole bunch of new, refreshed repertoire. We have the full album plus the EP plus all the previous albums. So it's going to be an interesting repertoire there. We're going to include a little bit of all this phases, and of course everything under the umbrella of the new stuff. The new concept, the new phase of Enjambre.
It's interesting that you mentioned that you'd always wanted to do it and finally had that space to kind of, well, we have the time, we're not going anywhere.
Exactly. Might as well.
Yeah, I think a lot of us had that during the pandemic, at least for some parts of it. After having a few weeks or months, and we're like, okay, this is gonna go on for a while. Let's see what we can do during this time.
Let's take care of those projects that we had in the back burner, but we never, cared enough to do. So there you go.
There you go. Was there anything particularly like challenging or different about writing, composing, and doing all this in English? Even though you speak the language, like you hadn't done this musically, I guess.
I'm the one who speaks the least, so. But Luis is very fluent. He was there since since he was a kid, so it comes more natural for him, the songwriter, the singer. And from what he tells us is the fact that I suppose that the fact that rock and roll was born in English, it becomes very fluent, very very natural to use the phonetics of the English language, as opposed to Spanish, that we have to be very careful. It's just mixing up rock music with the Spanish language. It's a bit more of a challenge because it doesn't come as naturally. The chemistry is not as natural as it would be in English. So that presented a lot of opportunities, and I don't know, we like the lyrics, we like how it sounds. um I don't know, I don't know what you think, if you heard the songs or not, but we think
Yeah,
they're pretty. They're I think they're a good proposal, you know, for musically and lyrically too.
definitely. And I think one of the things I was really interested about is I heard the songs and I never thought in my head, like, this is a crossover. And I
Hmm.
think I grew up in a time when, Latino artists or artists that recorded in Spanish, if they did something in English, it was like, okay, now they're crossing over, like they're moving on. And just the
Yeah,
fact that I didn't even think of it that way. Like I think a lot of we've gotten to a place where we can have music in different languages and nobody like cares. Like, oh yeah, they're Mexican band, but they do this type of music, or they do music in any language.
yeah. We were very concerned about that first when we released as we released the first songs, the first couple songs out of the EP. We think, what are our fan base is gonna say? Are they gonna be critical, or are they gonna be to say this? And we were surprised to find out that, for the most part, people didn't care about the fact that it was in English. Most comments were still about the music, the whatever feelings they got out of the song, and very, very few comments dealt with, oh, now you guys are doing it in English, so go back to Spanish or whatever. It was very, very few of those. So you're right. I think this generation cares less about that, and just it's a little bit more open, about different presentations of music, but whether it's language or a different concept or whatever it is.
And picking up on that, when you're talking about like the feelings of the songs and just the musicality of it, you like the lyrics match sort of the style of the music. There is that nostalgia in the lyrics, and kind of almost a little bit about thinking back to this time and age when we're so connected to technology and like social networks that are not in real person. How
Right.
did you guys translate that with like the type of instrumentation used, the type of sound when you were recording and producing?
I'm glad to see that you actually paid attention to the lyrics and the music. Yes, we feel that we're that generation that it's in a very unique position, whereas we were able to experience how the world was before the smartphones, and now how it is with the smartphones, and how it's changed dramatically in every way. The way we project ourselves, with the way we interact with each other, even with friends and family, and so forth. So as you can see, that song, for instance, Upgrade or Ambrosia, or a few other songs in our album Próximos Próximos, they deal with that a little bit. It's just like an observation, because we've gone through it. We've gone through those drastic changes. So yeah, and the musically, we always try to, whenever Luis presents the song, like the rough draft, we always try to pick up the feeling, the essence of the song, not so much like the technical side of the music, but also trying to capture what's the main feeling. What is it projecting? Is it nostalgia? Is it sadness? Whatever it is, and we try to, as musicians, to accommodate to that. That's why I'm glad you picked that up and said, the music also kind of like enhances those feelings, and a little bit of the themes of the song. So that's what we try to do always, to compensate that with our musical arrangements.
In particular, for the recording of this, you recorded it in Mexico, right? Like,
Yes,
how involved are you guys with the production and all of that aspect of it?
very. We did it ourselves.
Oh, there you go.
It's a self-produced material. Hmm. So we took care of all that, the pre-production, the production, the mixing. Our keyboardist Julian, he's the main engineer, so he does the mixing and all that. But we all pitch in with ideas, and we all collaborate in the studio.
The other aspect of this EP also is the videos that you've released around the different songs, and they kind of pick up on some of those on some of the lyrics and like the story behind it. So I really like the like the mix of sort of humor, but with social commentary. Like it's not too heavy. It has enough of that comic relief in it to make it not too heavy.
Yeah, as opposed to the music, we didn't get too involved with the videos. We have, close friends that we feel that understand our vibe, our music and what we're about. So we trust them, and of course we always pitch in with ideas and we get involved, but with the videos not as much. So, but yeah, we're not taking it so seriously with the videos as you can perceive. It's more like let's experiment, let's have fun, and so as long as it kind of like goes along with the feeling. We give a lot of the freedom, the creative freedom to the directors. So yeah, I don't know what to make of the videos, to be honest with you.
That's interesting though.
We like him, we like him, but yeah.
That you're able to get people involved that you feel kind of can collaborate, just how you were talking about the collaboration between lyrics and music, they're able to kind of do the same with the images. Are there any other things that projects or things or ideas that you guys have had in the past that you didn't get a chance to do that you're like, now that we have this off our plate, maybe this other project that we might have wanted to do is possible?
You mean musically?
Yeah, or outside of music too. Who knows?
Well, not really. We use this EP as well as the album as an excuse to enhance our studio a little bit. So we thought, now that we've decided to do it ourselves, we can invest a little bit more in gear and stuff like that. So I think our studio is a little bit in a better shape than it was before the pandemic, just because we decided to do these recordings on our own. So we invested a little bit more, and we did a little upgrades here and there in our studio. But other than that, not really like personal, like different projects. No, not really, or at least nothing that we prepared to share to the public right now.
Well, you have plenty on your plate so far, so I think that it makes sense that you're kind of focusing. You got this tour going on. That's always, it's fun for us as fans to get to see you guys, and I'm sure it's fun for you, but there's also the other aspect of it, of the traveling and the going from town to town and the logistics of it.
It's just, there's nothing you can replace that with. There's nothing. And we might try, those internet live shows, but it's not the same. It's not the same. I mean, there's nothing like feeling the music, the live, the audience, even the mistakes, there's so much that goes on in a live show that you can replace it with anything. So we're so excited to go back on a tour and then visit all these cool cities. Chicago is a beautiful city we always enjoy going to. It's great.
Well,
it's one of the highlights of what we do.
That's where you get to share it all, and see the instant reaction now with the
yeah. That's the peak of what we do, really.
Well, the only other question I had was sort of in terms of you guys have sort of a new lineup as well that you're going through. How's that been? You don't need to get into it too much, but is it sort of rehearsing, everything's going well, kind of gotten used to it?
Well, we adapt, we're trying to adapt to changes, such as life. A lot of the changes are unexpected. Some of them you expect, but some of them you don't. So you adapt and you keep going forward. Is not easy, but we love this enough to get it back, together and keep going, with the same heart, with the same love and same passion. So that's how we cope with those unexpected changes, and we're doing well. We're doing well with that. I think we're adapting well.
Sounds good. Thanks, Rafa. I don't know if you want to maybe invite some of the people from Rock the Beat to your show. Como dices,
For
it's
sure.
el 17th of February in Chicago.
Yes, it's a February 17th. We were in Chicago last year for a festival, and it was such a cool experience. I don't know if you were there, but it was a great experience. You guys can check it out on YouTube. I don't know, it was great, but we felt very limited. You know how festivals are. You know, you get on stage, and you have to get off. You know, next band's up. So we felt we didn't have enough time, you know, to project, you know, what we can do. So now it's payback for us. You know, this February 17th is going to be our show. It's going to be at the Concord Theater. Is it called Concord Theater?
Yeah.
February 17th. Great opening number. I think it's going to be Las Cruces. And again, it's our show, our, you know, full set. You know, there's no rushing, and it's in comedy as good as it gets. So don't miss it.